How's it going, everyone? We got some great JRPG updates to go over in this video. Man, if you guys are a fan of JRPGs, has 2024 been killer or what? Now, obviously, we just went off the wave of big JRPG releases, but man, there's more coming out. Maybe not an FF7 Rebirth caliber game, maybe not a Grand Blue Fantasy Relink caliber game, or even a Persona 3 Reload caliber game. However, if you're a fan of JRPGs, man, are you eating good this year. I would say the first 2 months of the year really encapsulated, where some years that would be like the entirety of the year with Like a Dragon, Grand Blue P3, and FF7 all back to back to back to back. But you got some more big titles coming. Ease is gonna be out later this year as well, and now we've got some new announcements of 2 more JRPGs coming in the near future. We'll talk that, one of them actually out in a couple of weeks, so we'll talk that at the end of this video. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to ask you guys, please like this video and do leave a comment with your thoughts. It really does help out the channel a lot, and it is much appreciated. But first of all, Grandia HD Collection coming to PS4 and Xbox One on March the 26th. Physical edition pre-orders will be opening on March the 15th via limited run games, and obviously the games will be readily available digitally. The games are already out on Nintendo Switch and PC, and released individually as titles on PC. For some odd reason, it never came out on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. The Switch version came out back in 2019, so better late than never here, but you're finally getting these games over on PlayStation, which is nice to see. On PlayStation, I think they'll do very well with. The Grandia HD Collection features 2 genre-defining role-playing games, Grandia and Grandia 2. These games send players on an epic adventure to explore the worlds of Grandia and protect them from the forces of evil. 2 nostalgic stories. The fans can follow both iconic journeys in the world of Grandia with various upgrades once more. Discover what lies beyond the end of the world with the young adventurer Justin in Grandia, and eons later protect the world from eternal darkness with Mercenary in Grandia 2. Modernized visual. This version of Grandia and Grandia 2 includes enhanced user interface, sprites, and texture art that brings the iconic look of the retro classics to contemporary standards, including widescreen support and visually enhanced original cinematics. Classic old school combat. The Grandia series features classic RPG combat with physical attacks and elemental spells, and a battle system that combines real-time and turn-based mechanics. The addition of hard mode gives players a memorable challenge as they explore the world of Grandia 2. Language support. The Grandia HD Collection includes Japanese and English audio options, as well as language supports for English, French, German, Japanese, Korean, and Chinese, simplified and traditional there as well. So a lot of extra support there. Grandia and Grandia 2 aren't the Grandia games that I personally got super into. When I was growing up, it was more of the PS2 era. And Grandia 3 was the game that I got super into and ended up really enjoying it. And even that game, my recollection of that game isn't that great. It came out back in 2005, 2006 over here in the States, but unfortunately, that game has not gotten a modernization and a new port. You can emulate it and do all that kind of stuff. It actually was released on the PlayStation 3 store back in July of 2016. Remember when PS3 was getting PS2 titles? But since then, no modern release of the game. Hopefully, you know, with Plus Premium, you know, rumored to be getting more PS2 titles. Hopefully, we will get Grandia 3 some point as a PlayStation Plus Premium Classic title, and hey, I think that would actually be one to excite people and parlay off the success of, I'm sure Grandia HD Collection is not going to do gangbuster numbers, but it'll do fairly well, all things considered, and I think, you know, maybe some people won't pick it up at launch, but down the line, discounted, I think people will check it out. And that limited run games version, I could see that being like a little bit of a collector's item down the line, to be perfectly honest. Next up, Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin finally coming out on PlayStation 4 on June the 14th. Long time coming for this one. This game was exclusive to Nintendo Switch, also available on PC. Switch got the first release, then it came to PC, and now it's coming to PS4, and it's coming day and day with the remastered version of Monster Hunter Stories, which was a Nintendo 3DS title. And both games will also be available together via the Monster Hunter Stories Collection, which will be available digitally worldwide, and physically in Europe. Pre-orders will be available soon, and includes a Kimura Maiden outfit for the game. The game initially launched on Switch and PC, and now again will be available on PlayStation 4 as well. Monster Hunter Stories, certainly a different style of Monster Hunter experience, but a pretty cool JRPG nonetheless, and once again, adding to a plethora of JRPGs that have been coming out in 2024. I'm telling you guys, as somebody that grew up in the late 2000s, early 2010s, you guys that are maybe a little bit younger, maybe have gotten into the JRPG genre more recently, do not take this time in gaming for granted, because I remember late 2000s, early 2010s, not just JRPGs, Japanese games in general. Do you guys remember Yakuza fans getting the short end of the stick with those games being released stateside? And now you're getting RPG games with English voice acting? Like, this is something I would have never thought to be possible in the late 2000s. And you're talking about a world in the late 2000s where we were getting the Tales of games on like 2-year delays. I'm not even joking with you guys. Let's pull up Tales of Xillia for a second. That's one game I remember really enjoying. When did that game come out on PlayStation 3? It came out in September of 2011 in Japan. You want to know when we got it over here stateside? August of 2013! That's the amount of time we were waiting for some of these games to come stateside. It was the same thing with the Ys titles. It was the same thing with a lot of other games. For heaven's sake, Final Fantasy 13. You would think a game and an IP at the level of Final Fantasy, it would have a global release. Nope. 6-month delay for the release of FF13 over here stateside. Like, that's what we were dealing with. It was either 3 months or 6 months, but it wasn't day and date. And Final Fantasy, you're talking about a juggernaut of an IP. And now, look at it. In 2024, you guys are just, it's just a buffet. It is literally non-stop JRPGs. Yeah, there's franchises that are on a little bit of delay. Legend of Heroes for sure, Ys for sure. Those games are on a delay, and Legend of Heroes, with how consistently those games come out, I don't think it'll ever pass a delay. But the fact that those games are coming out consistently stateside, Ys is coming out consistently stateside, and you've got all of these other IPs popping off as well. Tales of is at a level that I don't think anybody forecasted or saw coming as far as it being a popular JRPG. Persona is absolutely massive, and Final Fantasy has westernized more so with the release of Final Fantasy 16. That's a game that was more so catered and created to target a Western audience, and it's just kind of insane as far as that goes. I know with FF16, some people push back on that in the sense that they're not a fan of the more action-heavy style, but man, there's something for everyone when it comes to JRPGs. And then I'm not even mentioning stuff like the 2D HD stuff, the HD 2D stuff, Live Alive, Octopath Traveler. It is just a great time to be a JRPG fan, and I've said this ad nauseum because it needs to be celebrated. It really needs to be celebrated given where we came from in the late 2000s and the early 2010s, and even before that. Guys, just look up some of these games, these iconic JRPGs like a Persona 4, and look at the difference as far as how long we had to wait to get these games stateside. Even Persona 5 had a delayed release stateside, and I don't think that is really going to be the case going forward for a lot of the JRPG franchises, the bigger franchises, where you're getting global release, and you're getting, at the very least, these games getting localized, which is great to see. And hopefully that'll continue, and hopefully it'll continue with, you know, all of these different publishers putting more emphasis towards some of these games. There's things that I push back on, like Bandai Namco doing stuff like a Tales of Symphonia remaster instead of a ground-up remake. Tales of Abyss will probably get the remaster treatment instead of a ground-up remake, where I think, you know, at this point, those games deserve ground-up remakes. If we're remaking games like Dead Space, Tales of Symphonia, Tales of Abyss, games from that era should be remade as well instead of just, you know, slap together remasters, and I do feel like Bandai Namco's a little lazy with that. Again, a remaster is a lot less of a financial undertaking than a remake, but I'm sure they could figure it out and it would do pretty damn well. But that is gonna end my diatribe. Just a great time to be a JRPG fan, and while Grandia and Monster Hunter Stories don't really highlight a packed year of 2024, it's just adding to that wave, the tidal wave of JRPGs back to back to back. Even if you're not picking up all of them, you know, some of them you're gonna pick up, some of them you're gonna wait on a sale for, and what I do know is that there is a healthy amount of options for everyone depending on what kind of JRPGs you like. You got Eden Chronicle coming out as well. What a time to be alive, guys. That's all I'm telling you. SMT5. How could we not mention SMT5? SMT5's coming out in June. Vengeance. That's going to be great as well. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.